Alright, hello guys. It's a bit late tonight, but I've been wanting to do this video for a bit. So excuse me if I'm a little tired, but I think we're gonna have a good episode nonetheless. I wanted to talk about the Spider-Man trilogy, meaning the original one by Sam Raimi, and obviously Tobey Maguire is Spider-Man in this one. So I'm going to go 1 through 3, but I probably kind of mostly want to talk about number 3 because that's the one that I feel is maybe more interesting in terms of what I have to say. So yeah, number 1. First, I'd like to say number 1 and 2, I always used to think number 2 was better, but on watching it again, I kind of feel like number 1 is slightly better. And the reason I like this one a lot is because of the Green Goblin, played by Willem Dafoe. I thought he was a really compelling villain, and the acting is really good. And then I also really like Ben Parker and like the lesson he teaches in this film. Great power. With great power comes great responsibility. And I thought it was like quite an emotional scene and all that, and a good origin story for Spider-Man. It's a really solid movie overall. I mean, a problem with this trilogy in general, I would say the action is like not the highest quality, but it's to be expected from these early superhero films, but there's still good action, like it's fun to watch. But yeah, Spider-Man 1 is a great movie that sort of sets up the world, sets up the relationship with mainly Harry Osborn that becomes more important towards the end, but also with Mary Jane, who I thought was really, really good in this movie, and all of them. But it sort of makes Peter like this guy that's kind of slightly clueless in terms of relationships with women, but he's also like, she doesn't want to put her in danger by being with her, so he's very noble and heroic by giving up that. And yeah, I thought the romance was really compelling in this film. Like, it was very, it left you wanting more at the end of the film. And it was a really good, like, build-up. And then with Green Goblin, same thing. I love the tortured nature of the character where he's sort of being tormented by this monster within himself. And he's a good man, but he's struggling, and he's struggling in two ways. He's struggling with his business, and he's trying to, keep everything together, and that forces him to do some, experiments, and those backfire, and then he starts struggling in other ways. He becomes the Green Goblin. He can't control it, and the good man is taken away. And at the end, in a really great scene, Spider-Man lays the dead. Sorry, what's his name again? What's the dad's first name? Oh, Norman. Yeah, sorry, Norman Osborn. The dead Norman Osborn in the apartment. Harry sees Spider-Man with like a ripped face mask. Can't tell it's his friend, his best friend, like a brother to him. Peter Parker, and that sort of sets up the whole second film where basically he wants to find his father's killer, and he wants to kill him. So it's very compelling the way this film ends, and that's why I like it. I also gotta say, J. Jonah Jameson is like maybe, I don't know, I love that character. I think he's so funny. I was actually compared to him once, which I took as a compliment, I suppose. I think it is a compliment in a way. I think it was mainly to do with my energy that I'm lacking right now. And yeah, so Really, very good film. I really enjoyed it. And then we have Spider-Man 2, another very good film. I should say, I watched these first two films about, I would say, maybe 5 years ago now, on recommendation from Zipper Demon, and I really liked them, but I'd never watched the third one because, everyone says it's bad, and I was always like putting it off. So I didn't watch it, and then I recently rewatched the whole trilogy, but added the third one this time. But then we watched Alfred Molina as Doc Ock in this film. Harry Osborn doing great. This film has great character beats, but I would say it's more action-y, or at least the action's a bit better, maybe. Just CGI improvements. And then we get to see like his fight with Doc Ock. A very good film, really solid all around, very entertaining. The romance heats up. You get sort of like a resolution at the end where he agrees to be with Mary Jane, so it's very satisfying. But yeah, I would say most of the strong parts of this film are just like the same as the last film, just minus Green Goblin, like good action, good character development, like the good, compelling romance. Oh yeah, on the last film, I want to say I really like the kiss in the rain. I really love that shot and that whole scene. I thought it's really cool. Yeah, really good movie. But I really want to talk about Spider-Man 3. So, Spider-Man 3. I've got a lot to say about this. So I'd be lying to you if I said I didn't enjoy it. I liked the movie, I'll be honest. Is it as good as the other two? No. Is it like a really bad movie? No. It has some compelling parts, 100%. I would say that it's maybe a little too comedic, especially because it's supposed to be like a Venom film. And I think at some points it's like comical. It's just such a meme, this movie. Like I had a smile on my face through so many scenes because of how iconic and kind of retarded it is. So obviously these are things that distract from its quality, but like I said, I still like the movie. I thought I had a really good time watching it, but I do understand why people don't like it. I thought like the Sandman stuff was pretty compelling generally. Let me see. Let's go into the synopsis. Although like there's like parts of this movie that make no sense. Like he throws a grenade at his friend in Harry Osborn, who's like the new Green Goblin, and basically it's pretty clear he's dead. But then like all of a sudden you find out he's not dead, but he just has like a face scar. And it's a pretty good moment because it's like Peter maims his best friend while he's under the influence of, I don't know what to call it, but like let's just call it the venom juice, which comes from an asteroid, which was kind of also not really built up, which was not great, but it was explained kind of later. So yeah, he maims his friend and it's a good scene and all this stuff, but at the same time, it was kind of pretty clear that that grenade killed him. So it was kind of like plot armor there. And then, in like a really good moment, Harry comes to save his friend as the new Goblin in the final fight with Venom and the Sandman. And I like really agree with this in principle. But like I said, it's just like the plot armor that got it there. It kind of like botched it from being a really good, like perfect. And yeah, he like dies and sacrifices himself. And the last thing he hears is like, "You're my best friend," or whatever. Something like that. And it's a very touching scene. And Mary Jane is there. He saves Mary Jane in that scene too. And yeah, so other stuff. I didn't realize that the character that becomes Venom was Eddie Brock. So the reveal for me was actually pretty cool. Like, I didn't realize until a while in that his name was Eddie Brock, and I don't know if that's just because I wasn't paying attention super closely, or I don't know if it just revealed it later in the film, but when he became Venom in the church, which I thought was like straight ripped off from Vertigo with the tower and they didn't do the reverse zoom, but it looked so much like Vertigo. Becomes Venom and stuff. And yeah, I don't know why they can't like make a great Venom movie, because for some reason I do like the character a lot, and I find for some reason a lot of other people do, and yet for some reason they can't really make a great one. And I like the two standalone films, specifically the second one I thought was pretty good. Like, obviously it has a lot of problems, but I'm just talking about the entertainment value and the character. But then you have this one in this film, which, you know, I can tell people feel gypped by it because it's not really what you'd want for Venom. But yeah, he was kind of there at the end and kind of got destroyed by sound vibrations or whatever. And yeah, at the end, Mary Jane and Mary Jane and Peter get together, but I was kind of disappointed that it didn't show him putting the ring on her finger, which was kind of annoying. But you know, they like reconcile their relationship at the end. And yeah, so that's Spider-Man 3, a movie that like has a lot of good ideas, like the two estranged friends getting together, one friend being Harry Osborn, sacrificing himself at the end, sort of dying, to save Peter and Mary Jane. And then you have like kind of good characters like Sandman. I'm not really going to say Venom was well executed, but he didn't really feel too much like Venom, I suppose, but he was just there. And then like you have good action generally. The CGI has been cleaned up a lot compared to the other two. And like I said, the part of this movie that drags it down is also the thing I kind of liked about it, was like the comedic aspect and just how big of a meme this was. So yeah, like I understand people don't like that, but I thought it was funny and I enjoyed it, so it is what it is. Here's one thing I didn't like about the film. So it tries to drive a wedge in between Peter Parker and Mary Jane, which is like good for conflict, right? And this is before he was infected with the Venom juice. And in my opinion, is pretty contrived because Peter is making a bunch of decisions that he shouldn't be making logically, in my opinion, for his character. Like, he kisses Gwen Stacy in front of everybody, in front of his girlfriend, and he is so clueless. He doesn't know that would piss her off. Like, yes, I know he's like, kind of like an innocent person. He has a good heart and all that stuff. He's not, he doesn't think like to ever hurt anyone. But at the same time, you can't make the character so stupid in order to justify conflict. Like, you can't tell me that he's that dumb. He doesn't know that kissing a very attractive woman in front of his girlfriend will piss her off. And then he's also just kind of generally clueless with her, kind of short and pushing her away, which, like I said, it just feels kind of contrived because I don't believe at the third movie he should be this clueless with her. I think in the first movie it made sense because he was like a nerd and he was nervous around her, but then like we're through the second movie where they got together, and now we're in the third and he's still acting clueless. I think this would have been better served to like have the conflict between them come from something else that is built up through the story that made logical sense. But yeah, I liked the movie, and I would definitely watch it again. I love the whole trilogy. I thought it was really cool. And I think the hate is overblown for number 3. And especially now, you can like kind of watch it back and, like I said, enjoy the meme ability and just have some fun. Alright, guys. Saucy Boy out.